Good Tuesday morning, and welcome back to another episode of Martin's Koi Pond. What a glorious Tuesday morning it is. Just checked the temperature of the pond. It's up to just over 12 degrees. Fish are very, very active and wanting a bit of food. Of course, it's Easter weekend coming up, and the predictions are we drop back down to 8 degrees temperatures. So this little warm spell is only going to be short-lived. Fish are still, the odd fish is still flashing. Now, I've had 3 fish out over the last week or so for scrapes, both the harawakis and the chagoi, and all the scrapes have been totally clear, and I've really had a good look at them. Can't find anything. Even went down to my highest magnification because I understand Costia is quite small, but couldn't find a thing. So much like last year, I'm putting it down to the water. There is just something in my water that gets through no matter what filtration I put on this pond, and it irritates the koi. Water parameters, as you saw in the last video, are absolutely spot on. So you'd think the koi would be loving it in there. And actually, 95% of the time, they are. Maybe these little flashes I see from time to time are just natural and I just need to ignore them. I don't know, maybe someone could throw light on that, whether koi do just flash for no reason on the odd occasion. But having said that, fish are all lovely and healthy looking. They're feeding well and growing well, so it won't be long and I'll be able to move off the wheat germ food at this rate, as long as the temperatures in the pond hold. So, catch you in the next clip. Good Wednesday morning, and it's another glorious day. And the pond temperature is now at 14.5 degrees, so the pond's really warming up and the fish are consequently getting much more active and looking for more food, although I'm trying to be tempted not to put too much food in. Now, I don't know whether to get Ash, the big shower, out for a scrape after work, because I've been sat here having a coffee this morning, and there he is. He's jumped out 3 times and flicked a few times. So I don't know whether after work I should have him out and have a proper look at him. I haven't got time now because I've literally got 30 minutes before I go to work. So I'll get back to you this afternoon when we might be getting Ash out for a scrape. Well, good Wednesday afternoon. I'm back from work and it's not good news. Wife has been off work today and been sat in the garden, and apparently Ash has jumped multiple times while I've been at work. Now, he jumped 3 times this morning that I saw. So I've got all my gear out, and the plan is to get Ash out, get him in the inspection bucket, have a look at him, and do a couple of scrapes and see if there's any parasite causing him to jump. It's very unusual for fish to jump in my pond. I've only ever seen it a couple of times, so Obviously Harriet last year jumped out of the pond and had to be put back in. I don't want a repeat of that, so I'm going to get him caught, do some scrapes, and then report back to you. Well, welcome back. And yet again, nothing. I've obtained 2 good scrapes from Ash and had really good look at both of them, so much so my eyes are squinting, and not anything that looked out of place. Nothing moving or swimming or anything like that, just loads of inert looking skin cells. Now what I did notice, and I'll try and show it, but I do get a wobbly hand when I go one-handed, is underneath here. It's quite, he appears to be quite red. Now I did the antibacterial and antifungus treatment last week, so I'm out of that stuff now. And there was another area where he looked a bit red on his areas of white on his flank, just here, just there. So I don't know if it's something bacterial, but with the power of that microscope I still think I would have picked it up, but I'm a bit of a loss really. I don't know what to do. I think put him back and just monitor. He is feeding, or she. So he's really veiny on this area here. So something's not quite right with him. Anyway, I'm going to put him back and just monitor him for a few days. If needs be, I'll get some more bacterial treatment. Anyway, catch you in a bit. Well, good Wednesday evening, and welcome to a very dark blue coloured Martin's koi pond. Now, I did some research on Google. Other search engines are available. I did some research on medicines for bacteria, and one of the recommended medicines was FMG. I mean, the most recommended is acroflavin, but I don't have any of that in at the minute. But the third most recommended was FMG, formalin and malachite green. Apparently formalin is a very effective bactericide, and in conjunction they're both very effective against parasites, which got me thinking, my skills on the microscope aren't great. What if I'm missing a parasite because it's just too small for me to pick it out, or I just don't know what I'm looking at? So I thought, with the FMG mixture, which I did have in the cupboard, I also had Alpha X, which is a similar broad spectrum medicine. With the FMG, I could potentially kill 2 birds at 1 stone. I mean, I don't know if you noticed that, but I cleaned the skimmer out before I put the mixture in and there was a lot of pellets in it. Obviously some of them have floated off on the fish are still, even though there's FMG in the water, the fish are feeding on the pellets, so it's not bothering them that much. So yeah, I decided, I digress, I decided that I'd go with a broad spectrum cure and kill two birds with one stone. So hopefully, if it's bacteria, I've got that covered, and if it's a parasite, I've got it covered. But I've never seen them flash as much as they were this evening. And like I described earlier with Ash, all the redness and the veins and the slightly lifted scales. It wasn't dropsy like lifted, but they were all very visible, which is, they're not normally very visible on that fish. So we'll see how this goes for 7 days. You repeat it after 7 days if it hasn't appeared to have worked. Now, I've took the carbon that I painstakingly prepared and put in the shower on Saturday. That's now had to come out because obviously that will strip the medication out of the water, and the UV is now off. So this is where I am. Hopefully this mixture will deal with whatever bugs I've got in the pond. So I'll get back to you in the next clip with an update. Welcome back. It's a very chilly Easter weekend, Saturday morning, and pond is looking lovely. Been running fresh water in for 24 hours now, and it's looking pretty crystal clear. Now, I treated with FMG on Wednesday, and the jumping and flashing has pretty much eased off for just the odd fish now. Most notably Vader, who wasn't one of the ones that was flashing before I treated, which is kind of bizarre. So I wonder if he doesn't like the FMG in the water. But the Ash, the bigger of my showers, is looking a lot better, although he's not in view at the minute. Now I'm trying a new thing with water changes. I am still using the RO unit, but the exit pipe from the RO unit now goes into Big Bertha, the dechlorinator. And Big Bertha contains 2 pre-filters, 2 carbon filters, and 2 carbon block filters. Now theoretically, the water coming out of the RO device should be just pure water, but if anything is getting through, it's like a final polishing, and the flow isn't bad considering. If you can see it there running out of the little white pipe. So I'm going to run that for another 24 hours or so. What happens is when the pond is full, which it is at the minute, it sort of seeps out at this end. I can't really show you, but it's in this corner here. It seeps out in here, and it doesn't flood the garden, so it's just a trickle in and a trickle out type kind of thing. But the fish are looking really good today. Like I say, minimal flashing now. So I assume the FMG cleared something up that I couldn't spot on the microscope. I mean, it must have been tiny or very few of, because I did really give it a good look over the scrapes that I did on ash. See, one just flicked there. But anyway, I'm going to wind this video up for this week, and I'll catch you in next week's video. Oh, before I go, my friend Andy's coming in a minute. He's moving house and has had to drain his pond, and he thought he'd lost 2 golden tench weeks and weeks ago, and of course when he got down to the bottom layers of water, they made a reappearance. So they're coming here today to be temporarily housed in my pond. So with that said, catch you in the next video.